Indeed, you are on the Morning Express. It is now 8:07 a.m. on this 16th day of October. We're glad you're watching. My name is Sophia Wanuna. Let's now get to our interview. I did tell you the 17th or the 27th, beg your pardon, of this month is a date that gives you an opportunity to engage in a good cause, and we're just about to tell you more about it. This morning in studio, I'm joined by Kinuthia, who's the regional head of brand and sponsorship Africa for Standard Chartered. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
So it's all about the Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon 2013, and there's been a lot of press about it. There's been a lot of advertisements across the media, so it's all out there. I think everybody by now knows it's happening. So let's get to the details of it. And this is the 11th.
Yes, it's the 11th.
The 11th edition. So take us through the past 11 years and what got this started.
The first marathon was actually held in 2003. And this was a decision across the group, the Standard Chartered group, because the Nairobi Marathon is one of 10 marathons across the group. And so the group decided, why don't we do something that brings all the countries together that we have business in. And so in 2003 we launched the Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon here in Kenya. And as I said, this is the 11th year. So over the years we've just seen the marathon grow. In 2003 with only 4,000 runners, 4,000 people came up, trusted the bank and came and ran. Last year, which was the 10th edition, we had over 20,000 runners. So you can see over the years the marathon has grown. We've always had various races, but what we have seen over the years, numbers have just been swelling and swelling. Exactly.
All right, so you say initially at the beginning it was all about just bringing people from the different countries under the Standard Group Chartered banner to come and be involved in a marathon.
Yes.
Is that still the only reason why this marathon is held?
No, and then the year later, then we decided to bring about a charity part of the event, bring out charity in this event, and that's when we decided to use the marathon to raise funds for Seeing is Believing, which is our global initiative to eradicate avoidable blindness.
Okay.
Yeah.
So take us through that particular cause, Seeing is Believing. You're talking about eradicating avoidable blindness. How is that?
Now, what you need to understand, 80% of the blindness we see across the world is actually avoidable.
Right.
And so in 2003, the bank identified through staff that there is blindness that can actually be stopped.
Okay.
Yeah, because many people thought, if you're blind, always blind. But they got some information that you can actually stop avoidable blindness. Okay. So what happened? Since 2003, the bank has come up with the activities to help raise funds, and one of the ways we do that is through the Nairobi Marathon.
Okay.
And we have various activities, and so through Seeing is Believing, we have been able to raise $63 million across the group to take care of various initiatives across the group across the globe that assist in helping avoidable blindness to be prevented.
All right.
Yeah.
You said $63 million.
Yes.
This has been raised over a span of how long? The period since the marathon began?
No, that has been raised since 2005.
Okay.
And our target by 2020 should be $100 million.
$100 million.
Yeah.
So what are these other activities? You've said there's also other activities that you use to raise money.
Yes.
For this cause. It is a good cause.
Yes.
Seeing is Believing, and it is good when something is preventable. Then of course something is done beforehand to ensure we don't get to a situation where we are curing.
Exactly.
So what are these other functions, these other activities?
We do cycling. Like recently we had what we call the Rift Valley Odyssey. Some people were riding to raise money for that. Okay. We have customer functions where we have banquets. We do staff print t-shirts and sell across the world. We have all sorts of things. People climb the mountain. We have staff who climbed the Kilimanjaro recently. Not only from Kenya but from across the group. They came and they climbed the mountain. There's some people who also climbed Everest, not staff but people affiliated to the bank who climbed Mount Everest. So we do all sorts of things across the world to raise funds.
All right.
Yeah.
So 27th of October, that's in a few days.
Yes.
To come. It will be on a what?
It will be on a Sunday. The marathon is always run on a Sunday.
Yes. So 27th of October, that's a date that everybody needs to know about. So take us through the important details of where So we know the when, so the where, and we know the what. It's the marathon. So in terms of where is it happening and the details of if somebody wants to get involved, how do they do that?
Okay, the event will take place at Nyayo Stadium. That's where the start of the race starts. But the most important thing now is to register. We have registration is open and up until next week on Monday 21st.
Okay.
So people could go and register either in any of the Standard Chartered branches countrywide or Nakumat branch, Nakumat stores, or online at www.nairobimarathon.com. So that's, you need to register. So once you register, then you get a t-shirt, a runner's guide, which will give you all the details of where to assemble, and also for the races from the 21, the 42K, they also get a race number together with a running chip, because these are timed races. And then the 10K gets a race number, and so those are the things you get. So what I suggest to Kenyans is, the time is running out, they need to come out and register.
Yeah. All right, it is today's 16th.
Yes.
We'll talk about the different races so we can see where everybody feels comfortable participating.
Yes.
So the 21st, you say, is the deadline.
It's
How much is it to register?
It's only 1,000 shillings.
Okay.
And what people need to understand, that money does not come to the bank. The 1,000 shillings goes to sStandard Believing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's Nakumat stores, at your banks, or online, www.nairobimarathon.com. nairobimarathon.com.
Yes.
All right, so you'll get a t-shirt.
Yes.
And the guide.
The runner's guide.
The runner's guide.
Yes.
So take us through what this has. What's the runner's guide?
Now, the runner's guide is supposed to explain to you where to assemble. So come marathon day, we all, of course, we will be meeting at Nyayo Stadium.
Yes.
But outside, on the Huru Highway near the Kumat supermarket there. And that is where you need to know what time you're going to assemble for your race, because different races assemble different times.
Okay.
And then they'll also know what time the race will start. And then it also gives you details of the route. Yeah, the route is different. I mean, the route is kind of similar, but of course, the longer the race, the farther you go.
Okay.
Yeah, so they need to understand that. It will also give you tips on how to prepare.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it's one thing to come and run a marathon, but if you have not prepared.
Maybe we can open the page on how to prepare. As first, we talk about the 4 different events.
Yes.
We begin with the 42K.
Yes.
That's the full marathon.
Yes.
And it's clearly not for the faint-hearted.
Yes.
That's quite a distance.
It is.
So the people we see in the past years, the people you've seen get involved in the 42K, these are mostly athletes, people who've done this, or do we still see normal ones coming and saying, I'm going to try this?
A lot of the people who will run the 42 are the elite runners.
Okay.
Yeah, the people who are, the guys who are really trained and ready to run. And those who come to run the 42 mainly are after the prize money.
Okay.
And also to get good times, because once you run the Nairobi Marathon, since it's a time race, you'll get a certificate showing the time, and you can use that certificate in another marathon outside the country to qualify to run.
Right.
So, but then we still have the few.
Yes.
Who have done the 21K over the years, and then they just feel, I want to graduate.
Yeah.
So we still, it normally has between 700 and 1,000 runners.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not bad.
And you've talked about a prize money. Maybe for those who don't know, that's very motivational for them. How much is it this year?
The full marathon, the men and women, each of them will get 1.5 million. Each
1.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if they break the course record, then they will get an extra 250,000.
Do you know the cross record? What is it?
I think it's a 2 hours and 30. I think 32 or 33.
Yeah.
I'm not very sure, but I could clarify.
So
that.
This money that they get, so it's for them to go personal use.
Yes.
And is it from the bank, or is it from some of the money you've been able to raise?
No. All the money that comes from people registering all goes to Sing Believing. The bank sponsorship, the sponsorship from the bank is what goes into the prize money also.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the next one, which is the 21.
Yes.
Okay, that's shorter. It's almost half of the other one.
Yeah.
So also this one, we see more of athletes getting involved as well?
Yes. This one we also have elite athletes coming to run. But this one you'll also find the young and professionals running this.
Okay.
This is the people that me and you would probably learn, professionals in our working office. People also come to do it as a team building event. Within the 21, we have what we call the corporate challenge, whereby you pick the 6 best of your people in your organization, and then we take their time and we take the average, and then the best company wins some prize money. Okay. So we have young stars, people who go to the gym. So it's a big race. It normally attracts about 6,000 people. Okay. So it's pretty big.
All right.
Yeah.
And so they go different routes, because not to mix it up and not for everybody, the 42 and the 21, are they on different routes?
They're on the same route, but they'll start at different times. 42 will start at 7 o'clock and they will run. and then 7th and the run at 7, and the 21 will start at 7:30. So by the time the 21 is starting, 42 has already gone a very fast distance. Now what will happen, the 42, if I don't know whether you'd like me to explain a little bit about the route. The route has changed a bit slightly this year compared to last year, and the reason why the bank, and together with Athletics Kenya, who actually own the race, is because it was to sort out to decongest the roads. So this time round they'll start from Uhuru Highway, but then they will not run the way the traffic flows. They'll run the opposite way. And they will run all the way into, of course, Haile Selassie, down into Karambe Avenue, Kenyatta Avenue, all the way to University Way. And last year we used to turn at University Way. But now we are going all the way to the overpass at Museum Hill. They'll go on the right side of the road, and then go all the way to Forest Road at the former Pangani roundabout, and they will turn there. That's the 42, and they'll come all the way down, and they'll go through Uhuru Highway and go up to Serena, into Uhuru Park, go up into what we call the Lower Hill Road, and then into Bunyala, go through Aerodrome Road all the way to Mombasa Road, just near your turn off at Vitaform, go back to the roundabout at Lusaka, do one more loop, and then come and finish at the stadium. Now the 21 will do the same, but they will not come onto Mombasa Road. They will turn.
So they have a guide, they have people leading them, showing them so they don't follow. Because I imagine a situation where if the last person, and for example the 42, gets caught up in the 21 because they're last, and by the time these ones are starting, so now they're in one race and they start going the wrong direction. So how do you avoid those kind of situations and confusion?
There are markers on the road. We have guides, and also we have lead cars and cyclists on the road, and then we have demarcations, so it's very clear. If you notice, the full marathon is in red, so the signs are in red, so you follow the red signs. The blue is the half marathon, so everyone is clear. Very rarely do you find people. Because
I was wondering, I mean, the situation could arise when you're the last person and now you're with the 42 people, and you meant for the shorter marathon. Let's go to the 10K. And on this one, actually, I want to challenge the team here at Morning Express, the people here in studio, in our gallery, our director. We work out in the morning. We have a short workout, but I think this one, more people can be involved in this one. It's a run. It can't qualify to be called a marathon, and so this we see more of the kawaida Mwananchi coming in. This is the big race. This attracts maybe 11,000 people. It's a very big race, and it, as we said, anybody can run the 10K. Even teenagers run the 10K. You'll be surprised. I'd call it the fun race. It's the race where every Nairobian wants to be. We have all sorts of people coming to run the race. Sometimes we even see the British Army. They come to run carrying a boot. So it's for them. I think it's the race that it's a fun race. I call it the race where everyone comes to have a good time. So it's great. I mean, of course, it's much shorter. But they'll follow the same route, but they will not go to Museum Hill. They will. So is there prize money for each of these races? Yes, there's prize money. So for the 21K, how much is it? It's 110. 110,000. For the 10K, so that's for the 10K. Can aspire for that one. 110 for the 10K. Half marathon is 150. 150. So 110 for the 10K. I'm sure that will inspire. There's a chance you could win that race. Child. Actually, no. I think this is a very good. It's a good opportunity to even just go, and even keeping fit. As much there's first the good cause. You're supporting a good cause. It's money that's going to support the seeing is believing, and then it's, as you said, it's fun. You know, you go hang out with your friends, run, walk, and then finally there's the 6K. So this is really 5K. 5K. It's very short. So that one you can pretty much walk. Or even sprint through those 5 kilometers. The 5K is a family fun run. The 5K, even babies coming prams, some being carried on the back. It's just that sweet race, you know. Every the toddlers. So that one we have the youngest, the older children dashing and finishing, and they win they win a bank account with 2,500 in it. But that one is more of, it's a jolly, it's an exciting, fun. It's just that one, but anybody, the old, there's a lady who somebody has mentioned to me, she's over 90 and she's coming to walk that one. So it's a race for anybody and everybody. So if you're watching right now, there's clearly something for everyone. That's, I think, the perfect way to summarize. Just looking at the 4 events, the 42K, 21, 10K, and the 5K. So people can come out, participate, and in essence, remembering the cause for which this has been done. Now I want us to go through, I don't know if you found the page on what to do before the marathon, because we've seen people who go. I remember when I was young and we had this race marathon and we were so excited, but none of us did any preparations. And so the day after, let's just say it was very difficult, to walk. You're in so much pain. So to avoid such situations, it's happening on a Sunday, and Monday people are going back to work. So you don't want people limping and saying, okay, I can't come to work. This Nairobi Chartered Marathon messed me up. So what do they need to do now? There's quite some time to prepare.
Okay, I suggest if you are going for the full marathon, by now you should have already, months before, you should have started. So definitely a lot of exercise. You must go to the tarmac. Practice on the tarmac.
Okay.
Gym
Why
is
the tarmac?
Because, practicing in the gym is one thing, but then hit the road. Experience running on the tarmac.
Okay.
Pace yourself and see it, depending on the race, especially doing the 10K, 21 and 42, go on the tarmac, because it's a totally different experience, because you're running on different gradients, you're moving, just to see how it is.
Right.
Then of course, your diet, start taking, especially the night before, they said you need to take a lot of carbohydrates.
Okay.
Yeah, so that it gives you strength. Hydrate. Take lots of water.
Yeah.
A lot of water. We provide water. There are water stations across.
So even during the marathon, as you're running,
exactly,
water.
to take a lot of water. But then the weeks before, start taking water, so your body is well hydrated. Because it's one thing to start running and then you start getting so dehydrated.
Yeah.
Chances are you might not finish the race.
Yeah, you'll faint.
Exactly. And do a stretches, exercise.
Yeah. Okay.
But then I suggest, if you're not feeling well on that day, please do not come and run.
Do not come and
No.
run. But they could always walk.
They could walk. Exactly. We have medical services. One of our sponsors, AR, has provided ambulances and medical stations across. So yes, there's that opportunity.
All right. So it really does sound like a fun event.
Yeah.
All right. So 11 years, it's quite some time, over a decade now that you've been doing this. Maybe what are some of the challenges that you have faced and encountered in preparation and just managing the whole event?
I think the main challenge, and I think this year we probably hopefully we'll be able to sort out that, was the route. Because the route has been pretty much the same for many years.
Okay.
And when we formed the initial route, or 2 years later when we changed the route, the initial, what we'd call the second good route, the numbers were not that big. But over the years, because of the swelling of numbers, our roads are so narrow, sometimes it's hard to fit. If you look at the start, if you came to the marathon, over 10,000 people in one race.
Okay.
It is so, it's tight, the people are squeezed.
Yeah.
And sometimes some people say it takes very long for you to get even space to start running for a long time by the time you start.
You're squeezing with
So that has been a challenge, and hopefully with this new route that this will be we'll be able to sort out that problem.
Okay.
The other challenge, and I think, is late registration. We open registration as early as mid-September, but somehow we love last minute here in Kenya, and so that for us is a challenge, because this is an international race. It's accredited by IAAF, and one of the things is we need to have the database in the system long before the race, because we need to know, since people are running with a chip, which is time, we need to know who is that person who is leading.
Okay.
Yeah, because if that person comes and registers very late and maybe we have closed the database and they are leading, then we're not able to tell
who that
person is.
Yeah.
So we would encourage us, Kenyans, please register early so that we prepare the database, it's ready on time. But I guess those are challenges we have faced, but I think the bank has been able to try, and as much as I've seen improvement as people have come, but still we need to see people register, not waiting till the Monday and the queues are long. We have 10,000 people registering on Monday. Yeah. So
all right, so you're saying after the 21st, which is a few days away, which is deadline for registration, you're not going to register anybody after that?
That is physical registration. That's the branches and the supermarkets. But for online, we will open up until 24th. Yes,
online.
The goodness with online, because your data goes immediately into the system. Makes it easier for us. So we are encouraging, if you can't make it by 21st, you still have until the 24th.
Okay, so there's that lifeline.
There's that lifeline.
But 24th, after that, no more registration.
No,
we close.
We close.
And if they come pleading on that day and I want to support this, there's no
exactly, because we need to close the database and hand it over now to the race director.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long does it take the marathon? You say it begins at about 7.
Yeah.
What time usually usually does it take? What time do you finish? Maybe I can have a look at this, by the way.
Okay, we expect the marathon the winner to come in by latest between 9:30 and 9:40.
Okay.
The winner should be back for the full marathon.
So the roads then get opened up?
We'll open the roads, how do I say, progressively.
Okay.
Like now we'll start with the ones of the city as we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this, just trying to get a feel of what you're saying. This, remember, if you're just joining us now, we're talking about the Nairobi Marathon, Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon. It's going down on the 27th. We're getting more details of what is going to be happening. There's the 4 races, and this is what you get when you register. It's the runner's guide. Yes. So when you register with 1,000 shillings, the deadline is the 21st.
Yes.
But there's that lifeline. You could still register online up to the 24th. And I'm seeing here there's a Safari Junior Family Run, so Family Assembly and the Family Route. That's for the 5K?
Yes, the 5K.
The 5K.
Yes.
So quite informative, the details that I'm seeing, even in terms of the routes, so they're clearly marked out. So as you said, with the colors as well, those clear indications of what needs to be known at each and every turning. What has been one of the biggest successes you'd say from this, and even with the cause that you're supporting, what are some of the successes you've seen, the stories you've heard from the people who now actually receive this support?
I think for us the greatest success has been for seeing is believing. Over the years we have been able to, in Kenya alone, for our causes here in Kenya, we have been able, up to last year we had raised $1 million, which for us is great. And up to date we have our program in Kenya has focused on supporting children, because, and you'll ask me, why would we support children? We believe children have a longer period to live. So if you give a child sight, then they will enjoy it for a longer period. Secondly, when you give a child sight, then even the mother who was taking care of that blind child is able now to go and do work and and provide for her family.
True.
So to date we have supported 5,000 children to see. And most of the problems we come across are cataracts, which is one of the greatest cause of avoidable blindness, and glaucoma. And of course trauma related, when a kid, somebody puts hit by a stone or a stick in the eye, and so they have to undergone surgeries. So for us that's been successful. We've also done programs up in the Samburu area for trachoma is another cause of avoidable blindness. So we have, and that is caused by a lack of hygiene. So we have been able to sink boreholes. People are able to wash their faces, clean themselves, and so in that case, and then we have also done surgeries which are related to trachoma. Yeah, so it's been successful. Of course, the other success is we have been able to see winners. The Nairobi Marathon there's only one person, a lady called Jerotich, who won the marathon twice. Every person, on the men's side, there's nobody who has ever defended their race. Yeah,
they win, and that's
somebody else comes and then they move. So for us, that has been a great an opportunity. The other success is that I think we've been able to profile Nairobi. This marathon is covered across the world through various channels, because it's Nairobi. Kenya is known for athletics. So I think we're also helping build the profile of our nation. And who are we likely to see in terms of the notable names?
Because for the 42K, it's clearly these people who are established in this kind of races and marathons. Is there any indication of who we're likely to see participating?
What you'll see in the Nairobi Marathon, we don't get the very big names, the ones who have gone and won the Bostons and the Londons, no. What we see is new people coming.
The up and coming.
Yes.
Those who are seeking now to make a name for themselves.
Exactly. And we're happy about that, because that's one of our objectives, is to bring up new talent. To give people, somebody up in the village might never have an opportunity to go and run in Boston, but they can come to Nairobi, win, and go and win. Like this lady I've mentioned, she went and won the Commonwealth Games. And she started. Her story is very touching, because to come to Nairobi, they were very poor, they didn't have anything. Her husband had to borrow money from a neighbor. They sold a chicken, and that's how she came and won the marathon.
Wow.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. For us, we are happy for such people. We want to discover the new talent.
And it's good that is one of your objectives. That's what you identify and provide opportunities for Kenyan athletes. So as much as we are a celebrated country for what we do, there's still opportunity to bring up more people. And have you had one of the perhaps children, you said you support children who have benefited from this, who've gotten the treatment and then come and participated in the marathon?
Yes. I think 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we had a face on the marathon. Her name was Christine. Christine was discovered at 2 years. She couldn't see. The parents were saying she was stumbling. I think her sight was really bad. She had very little sight. And then she went to Kikuyu Hospital, which is one of our partnering hospitals, and she was treated. The cataracts were removed. A few days later, she was okay, and she's been running the marathon since.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have many people who have actually ran, some of those children actually then come to participate during the marathon.
All right.
Yeah.
And if there's a parent at home watching this and their children has issues with the eyes and sight and all, and they're noticing this is something that could develop to be worse, how can they benefit from this? How do you identify the beneficiaries of this particular money that's raised from the marathon?
Okay. Now, the Standard Chartered Bank has partnered with a consortium, which in Kenya is led by the Christian Blind Mission. And what we do, we pass on the money to this organization.
Right.
So if somebody has an issue or sight, I could mention some of the other partnering hospitals. This will be Kikuyu, Nairobi. There's 10-week in Eldoret area, in Bomet. Then we have Sabatia in Kakamega, and then in the coast we have Lighthouse for Christ in Mombasa, inside Mombasa, and then in Kwale we have a Kwale District Eye Center. What they need to do there is go present themselves. Now the bank cannot influence who is selected because we are not experts. So the hospital now actually vets the people and then really identifies, do you really need this support? They look for the poorest of the poor.
Yeah, I think that's very important to know,
exactly.
because people would wonder the criteria under which
exactly.
then those people receiving the support.
Exactly.
So for the person who requires or feels they need it, what to do is go to one of these hospitals, you say?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then let the hospital decide whether you qualify.
What do you expect for you? Of course, you've been part of this for a long time, and I guess each marathon, as much as pretty much most things remain the same, there's always something different. So what are you expecting to see for this particular one?
I'm expecting to see how people will react to the new route. Some people have run the marathon many years, but now we have introduced a new section. How will it be? Will they enjoy it? Because I think it's a pretty nice route, because now it's even taking them more into the city. So I'm expecting that. I'm expecting to raise more money. My target at least is 23 million. I'm hoping somebody can break the cost record. That would be a good thing. And I'm expecting large numbers. I'm really expecting. I know there's an issue around security. I just want to assure, we are doing all our best, and we are working very closely with the government, the police, to ensure that. But I think people should, people should come out in large numbers just to come and have fun. So I'm just expecting a lovely day
lovely day.
Exactly.
And what do you tell somebody as we wind up? Time is up. Somebody who's watching right now and they're saying, okay, this sounds interesting, sounds like fun, because you sound very enthusiastic talking about it. So even if I was watching, I think I'd be like, okay, I want to be part of that. What do you tell them to encourage them to first register? I remember you said register and be part of this marathon.
Definitely register, wake up early that morning, come and run for a good cause. Run for a good cause. Remember, you running, you're going to help a child see. You're going to change the life of that child for a long time. Exactly. So
Annie Kinuthia, Regional Head of Brand and Sponsorship Africa for Standard Chartered, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And just to recap very quickly the details, the marathon is on the 27th of October. That's in a few days. The deadline for registration is the 21st of this month. You can register on Nakumatt stores as well as the bank itself, and also online. Remember, when you register online, there's that lifeline. You could stretch that to the 24th of October. So that's the deadline. After that, then you cannot register. So come out in large numbers. 1,000 shillings only to register. You'll get this. It's a runner's guide. It gives you, it helps you prepare for the marathon, which includes, of course, how to eat, some of the exercises to do, and of course, keeping rehydrated. And it's a beautiful picture on the front of this guide, the father, a man and a woman and a child. So it's for everybody. Everyone can turn up. The 4 different races, the 42K, the 21K, there's the 10K and the 5K. So whichever you can handle, where you feel you fall, you can handle that in terms of how strong you are, how fit you are. There's something definitely for everyone. And the ultimate thing about the marathon is that it's for a good cause. It truly is. I look forward to participating. And the team here on Morning Express, they're looking so happy. I'm just looking at them. They're so excited. They're like this. They'll be part of this marathon. And of course, we'll come show you some of the footage after the marathon.